Good morning. Welcome to AG4 Voice News with Lilis reporting to you from Singaraja. Let me tell you the headline. Bali hotels at an economic impasse. Now the news in detail. With many Bali hotels now living on a wing and a prayer, the island's tourism industry hopes its international tourism industry will reopen in July 2021. Still, hotel owners and operators are increasingly concerned that the rising number of new COVID-19 cases will see the July recommencement of tourism once again delayed. Disappointed and dismayed, tourism operators can do little more than bite their fingernails as they face a most uncertain future. The chairman of the Bandung Regency, chapter of the Indonesian Hotels and Restaurant Association, Agustus, says that some 50 hotels are now offered for sale in his regency alone. In such a situation, owners who are under severe financial strain can do little more than be patient and pray, knowing that only the government has the power to reopen tourism. In desperation, Adisuardana admits he will personally grow even more disappointed if plans to reopen tourism in mid-July are once again delayed. Quoted by Smp Se-Bali, Adisuardana said on Sunday, 27 June 2021, I am extremely hopeful that international tourism will be reopened. In any case, we all know that the reopening of tourism will not automatically result in a flood of tourists. Adisuardana explained how the businesses represented by PHRI have diligently spent the past 3 months preparing for a restart international tourism. One of many steps to make Bali ready for tourism has been the certification of hotels and restaurants on the cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability program created by the government. But whatever happens, the reopening of tourism is the purview of the government in its capacity as regulator. If the regulators say the reopening of tourism must wait, the tourism industry can say little in response. All we can is be patient, said the PHRI Bandung chairman. Adisuardana said that 4 areas of Indonesia are making the largest contribution to Bali domestic arrivals. Those 4 areas are Jakarta, West Java, East Java, and Yogyakarta. The current flow of domestic tourists to Bali is helping hotels achieve an average occupancy of around 10%, a figure that is not financially sustainable for Bali's hotel sector. Domestic tourist arrivals are around 7,000 until 8,000 people daily. Meanwhile, hotels are averaging occupancies of around 10%. This is still far below the island's expectation. Bali has 146,000 rooms. If you are talking about visitors, this is nothing for Bali. Adisuardana complains. Adisuardana also called for strict controls at a Bali gateway, such as the ferryport at Giri and Bali's Ngurah Rai International Airport. Rai said the current condition of hotels in the Bandung Regency of Bali concerned him greatly. In sharp art, during the continuing pandemic, have not kept pace with operating costs. As a result, the PHRI chairman says tens of hotels in the Bandung Regency are bankrupt and are changing hands. The high cost of operation is forcing many owners to sell, adding, until this point in time, the number of hotels and restaurants that have been sold is around 50 units. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge effect because for the past 15 months, there's been no income. Well, viewers, these are news for today. Signing up. I'm Lilis. Thank you for having me and have a nice day.
Good morning. Welcome to Achieve Purpose News. With me, Bagas, reporting to you from Singaraja. Let me tell you the headline. Bali hotels at an economic base. Now the news in detail. With many Bali hotels now living on a wing and a prayer, the island tourism industry hopes its international tourism industry will reopen in July 2021. Still, hotel owners and operators are increasingly concerned that the rising number of new COVID-19 cases will see the July commencement of tourism once again delayed. Disappointed and dismayed, tourism operators can do little more than bite their fingernails as they face a most uncertain future. The chairman of the Bandung Regency chapter of the Indonesian Hotels and Restaurant Association, Gusti Agung Rai Surya Wijaya, says that some 50 hotels are now offered for sale in his Regency alone. In such a situation, owners who are under severe financial strain can do little more than be patient and pray, knowing that only the government has the power to reopen tourism. In desperation, Rai Surya Wijaya admits he will personally grow even more disappointed if plans to reopen tourism in mid-July are once again delayed. Quoted by Nusa Bali, Rai Surya Wijaya said on Sunday, 27th of June 2021, "I am extremely hopeful that international tourism will be reopened. In any case, we all know that the reopening of tourism will not automatically result in a flood of tourists." Rai Surya Wijaya explained how the businesses represented by PHRI have diligently spent the past few months preparing for a restart of international tourism. One of many steps to make Bali ready for tourism has been the certification of hotels and restaurants on the clean lines, health, safety, and environmental sustainability program created by the government. But whatever happens, the reopening of tourism is the sole purview of the government in its capacity as regulator. If the regulation says the reopening of tourism must wait, the tourism industry can say little in response. "And we can be patient," said the PHRI Bandung chairman. Rai Surya Wijaya said that 4 areas of Indonesia are making the largest contribution to Bali domestic arrivals. Those 4 areas are Jakarta, West Java, East Java, and Yogyakarta. The current flow of domestic tourists to Bali is helping hotels achieve an average occupancy of around 10%, a figure that is not financially sustainable for Bali hotel sector. Domestic tourist arrivals are around 7,000 until 8,000 people daily. Meanwhile, hotels are averaging occupancy of around 10%. This is still far below the island expectation. Bali has 146,000 rooms. If we are talking about visitors, this is nothing for Bali, Suryawijaya complains. Suryawijaya also called for strict controls at all Bali gateways, such as the ferry port at Gilimanuk and Bali's Ngurah Rai International Airports. Rai said the current condition of hotels in the Badung Regency of Bali concerns him greatly. In some months, during the continuing pandemic, have no care faced with operating costs. As a result, the BSRI chairman says tens of hotels in Badung Regency are bankrupt and are changing hands. The high cost of operation is forcing many owners to sell. Adding, until this point in time, the number of hotels and restaurants that had been sold is around 50 units. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge effect because for the past 15 months, there's been no income. Well, viewers, this is all the news for today. Signing up, I'm Bagas. Thank you for having me and have a nice day.
Good morning viewers, today on Saturday 14th of August 2021. Happy gathering with us in broadcasting news program of Net TV, which will provide you the real news which is taken factually from the field either national or international. And here is the topic line. Bali fight virus same way it attract tourists with local customs. Now with me Mahaputra, here is the news in detail. Indonesia's most popular tourist destination, Bali, has its local customs to thank for what officials thought a success in containing the COVID-19 outbreak, as the central government was reopening the reset island. The province, home to some 4.2 million people, reported its first confirmed case of COVID-19 on March 11. Despite still welcoming its typical crowds of tourists in the early months of the pandemic. It's important to know the number of people under observation (ODP) and patients under surveillance (PDP) to see how good the government has been in detecting cases, said Imade Adiwirawan, the head of Udayana University School of Public Health. Bali's successful containment efforts have largely been attributed to the active role played by traditional villages, which make up the majority of the island settlements, as the majority of people are Hindus who comply with local religious customs. The island's authorities relied on the island's 1,493 traditional villages to restrict people's movement, which Bali Governor Iwayan Koster insisted had been a success. The villages have a well-defined leadership structure, complete with Pecalang traditional guards who are voluntarily in the service of people known as Ngaya in Balinese culture. Leader and the Pecalang are tasked with screening visitors seeking to enter the villages, monitoring people in quarantine, preventing large gatherings, and making sure people follow health protocols such as wearing masks and washing their hands frequently. Those who violate the rules could face social sanctions that are perceived negatively by the Balinese people, said Gerokgak, the head of Besaki village. Bali without its gas is a pandemic in itself. That's why the Balinese people are complaining with the existing protocols, so the gas will return sooner, Jero said. Balinese are known for being very complaint with the local customs enforced by traditional villages, mainly because they are very old, said Wayan Windia, a customary law professor at Udayana University. The villages have been around for centuries, even before the Netherlands conquered the region in 1908. One inscription from 891 AD even acknowledges their existence and importance in Balinese culture. People in traditional villages are bonded through Skala or reality and through Niskala or Hindu beliefs, he said. It was only in a 2019 regional government regulation on traditional villages that these social units were recognized administratively. Meanwhile, Coordinating Maritime Affairs and Investment Minister Luhut Panjaitan said earlier this month that the government had considered reopening the economy in Bali and 4 other regions, citing a plateauing of COVID-19 infection. Losses in the tourism sector are estimated to total around 9.7 trillion rupiahs per month. According to the administration, as global restriction on movement permit the industry that contributes to around 60% of the province's gross regional product. Udayana University warned again lifting restriction to yearly for fear of a second, more severe wave of infection, given that the rate of local transmission was still climbing. Local health authorities raised concern over the rising number of cases stemming from local transmission, as it was previously thought that the majority of cases were imported, including by returning migrant workers. At that time, intervention will shift from community-based to case-based, Adi said, but for now, testing and tracing must be improved. Okay viewers, that is the news today. I'm Mahaputra and all of the Net TV crews say thank you so much for your attention. Let's pray for Bali, Indonesia and the world follow the regulation and know the risk will save us, so the tourism will be better. See you next time and goodbye.